Good evening, broadcasting live from our headquarters in Canifing, and this is the news coming to you straight from Banjul, also coming up. 9 political parties agreed to set their differences aside and work for the best interest of national development, courtesy of a fresh inter-party initiative. Muslims in the Gambia observe Yawm al-Ashura, marking the beginning of a new Islamic calendar. And nearly an early evening blaze destroys all belongings of the Sahel family in Talinding, Medina. Plus, close to 3 million children are in need of education in northeast Nigeria as a persistent Boko Haram threat forces the closure of schools in Borno State. And in Zimbabwe, the global call to recognize tourism as a catalyst for growth has been re-echoed during the country's celebrations of World Tourism Day. Well, these and other stories coming ahead in the next 30 minutes. I am Fatu Janimbai. Hello and welcome to the news. 9 political parties have agreed to put their differences aside and work for the supreme interest of national development. Their disclosure was made during an inter-party media briefing held at the Independent Electoral Commission in Canifing. Ababakar Kamara tells us more.
Learning from past shortfalls and experiences emerges hope for a new political dispensation that will unify a country divided by political opinion. The Inter-Party Committee is designed to enhance political inclusion in the new Gambia.
On the 12th of September 2017, the Inter-Party Committee, comprising 2 representatives from all the registered political parties in the Gambia, met at the Election House to review the content of the MOU signed by 9 political parties on the 7th of March 2017. And strategize on the way forward in backing precepts with practice. Because this is a very inclusive process. It is not a top-down process. It is really working as a team.
That process over the years has been deterred by the hostility of the previous government, with minor breakthroughs in 2000 and 2006, necessitating reforms in the new Inter-Party Committee and the Independent Electoral Commission.
We have examples in the past where we had problems, and through the assistance of the Inter-Party or the collaboration of the Inter-Party, we were able to overcome certain hurdles. So we look forward to more fruitful relationship.
This would include redefinition of police security forces party relation, IEC party relation, state media and state personnel party relation, as well as undertaking a review for electoral and regional government reforms before the local government elections of April 2018, which will include demands for diaspora enfranchisement as supported by all members of the Inter-Party Committee.
In the coming months and years, the Inter-Party Committee is expected to critically work on its total autonomy and financial status, with a more robust approach towards principles and practices governing the operations of political parties in the Gambia.
Inter-Party Committee will live up to expectation precisely because it has coined itself fundamental principles that it cannot violate, and that's the essence why it is being proposed, or I hope it will be in the plan, that all political parties go back to the electorate, and talk to them on the essence of the Inter-Party Committee, the Memorandum of Understanding.
The co-chairpersons nominated from the ranks of the ruling party and the opposition, respectively, will be elected for a 5-year period and will not be eligible for re-election. After an intense discussion, during which parties made their diverse positions abundantly clear, the majority view upheld that under the current political dispensation in the Gambia, there is a ruling coalition and not a ruling party. Hence, the parties agreed to break into 2 groups comprising those which supported Coalition 2016 to bring the change and those opposed to Coalition 2016.
Babakar Kamara, GRTS.
Ashura is a religious observance marking the start of a new Islamic year. The word Ashura literally means 10th, as the day falls on the 10th day of Muharram, the first month of the Islamic calendar year. In the Gambia, the day is commemorated with prayers in mosque and public gatherings. However, approaches to Ashura celebrations have been slowly fading as the practice of faith from a Sunni perspective increases. Afamra Kani was out to observe how Muslims commemorate the day, and he prepared this report.
Ashura is a day that rings in the mind of every Muslim. In the Gambia, it epitomizes celebrations and creates the avenue for Muslims to gather in numbers to pray and forgive one another. But almost 5 kilometers away from the capital city, Banjul, the story is different. Ashura is like any other day of the year. Whether or not to commemorate Ashura remains one of the toughest arguments among Muslim scholars around the world, including the Gambia. Not far away from Brikama, Lamen is one of the settlements where people gathered in a small mosque to observe the prayer, challenged by many as an innovation in Islam. Although many Muslims believe that the day has some spiritual significance, associating a specific prayer is disregarded by many. Basamba Muhammad Trame is an imam. He has a different view of what New Year means in Islam.
The Prophet ﷺ fasted Ashura, and he ordered the Sahabas to fast Ashura. Like Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu narrates, he said the Prophet ﷺ ordered to fast Ashura. فَأَمَرَ بِصِيَامِهِ. The Prophet ﷺ ordered to fast Ashura. So Ashura, the only sunnah that we know about Ashura is fasting, nothing else.
A tradition that lasted for years in the Muslim community is now losing recognition, especially in urban Gambia. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Famarakani.
Now, neighbors and residents of Sahakunda in Talinding, Medina say a fire outbreak which destroyed everything in 3 separate apartments caught them by surprise after sundown on Friday. No one was home when the flames started, and neighbors had to struggle to put out the blaze and call the fire department. A victim of the inferno told GRTS that he lost everything in his apartment besides the clothes on him. Burning its way through 3 apartments whose rooftops were badly gutted. The fire raged on for almost 3 hours, destroying household belongings, clothes, and personal items. The flames were finally extinguished by neighbors and a team of firefighters from the Bakau fire station. The Talinding Medina area councillor Musa Baji has called on philanthropists to come to the family's aid amid a moment of great want. The People's Republic of China clocked 68. The Chinese nationals in the Gambia Friday celebrated the anniversary event at the new embassy grounds in Bijilo. The call for ceremony was attended by a cross-section of Gambians, including foreign diplomats and top government officials. Ibrahim Jallo picks up the rest of that story.
It is 68 years of nationhood for the People's Republic of China. Chinese community in the Gambia are converged at their embassy located on the coastline to observe the day. The People's Republic of China was founded on the 1st of August 1949, and since then the Chinese people have become masters of their own destiny. China, being the second largest economy in the world, has registered significant developments with an increase in per capita income from $35 in 1949 to $8,000 today. China's ambassador to the Gambia, Zhang Jiming, said the day was momentous for his nation and beyond.
The founding of the People's Republic of China on October the 1st, 68 years ago, is historic for China and the world. The Chinese people have since stood up with political independence and freedom and become the masters of their own.
He said China, with a population of more than 1 billion, has lifted over 700 million people out of poverty and creates more than 13 million jobs annually. On the diplomatic arena, Ambassador Jiming stressed the importance of relations with the Gambia.
In the era of the new Gambia, China-Gambian relations have entered a new stage of sound and strong development within the framework of China-Africa and a South-to-South cooperation. The momentum of high-level exchanges is strong, and mutual understanding and political trust are deepening.
On behalf of the Gambia government, the Minister of Justice Abubakar Tambadou congratulated China and commended her for supporting the Gambia's development aspirations.
The Gambia is grateful for this opportunity to re-engage with the People's Republic of China, and it has so far brought us additional benefits over and above the benefits that we have enjoyed many decades ago. We look forward to a continuing partnership with your government and your people, because we believe it's a partnership that will benefit our two peoples.
Gambian artist Lamin Seka presented a piece of his work to the Chinese ambassador as a gift on their National Day. The event was attended by high-ranking government officials as well as members of the diplomatic community. Ibrahim Diallo, GRTS News.
Now, 56 health personnel have finished a 3-month training program in disease surveillance. It's an initiative driven by AFINET, the African Field Epidemiology Network, and funded by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, in collaboration with the U.S. government and Ministry of Health. As Aminata Sanyang reports, local health officers across the sector are being trained in disease control and prevention.
This is a significant technique of improving the health condition of the country. The epidemiology training, which began a while ago, has produced officers, many from the Ministry of Health, the Armed Forces, Fire Service, the police and other institutions. This came to be when the Ebola virus spread in many African countries, and this is amongst the safety precautions.
It's just the end of the training, but the start of a new era in your career. It's a new era because the Ministry of Health is going to expect a lot of from you. Because of this level of investment, we are going to expect great improvements in the surveillance system. We are going to expect you to keep applying the skills that you've gained from this training.
During a presentation which was conducted by trainees at the event, they recommended the Ministry of Health to provide necessities such as surveillance officers and equipment to ease their work. The Ministry of Health is fully aware of these and ready to act.
The Gambia has just begun the implementation of the frontliner tire. And with the continued support from CDC, WHO and other partners, we are hoping to begin the implementation of the FETP intermediate tire very soon.
The event was graced by dignitaries which include the U.S. Ambassador, Patricia Alsop, and the Chief of Defense Staff, General Masane Kinte.
President Obama called for a global health security agenda, and that led to a U.S. government announcement that it would invest $1 billion in resources to prevent, detect, and respond to future infectious disease outbreaks in 17 countries. The Gambia was one of those 17 countries, and today's ceremony marks another step toward implementing a vigorous health security agenda in the Gambia.
Speaking on behalf of the trainees, Dr. Mary Johnson said with the gathering, the skills they acquired.
FETP Frontline has helped us to achieve and appreciate disease surveillance. It has made us become better disease detectives at our different walks of life. During this 3-month program, the training has enabled us to enhance weekly surveillance reporting. It has also enabled us to enhance weekly staff meetings for updates on surveillance activities. It has enhanced the feedback mechanism that was lacking before.
Certificates were also awarded to the participants and other personnel. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Aminata Sanyang.
Now moving on, the Competition and Consumer Acts of 2014 as well as the Protection and Essential Commodities Act of 2015 were the key highlights of a training program for magistrates from the judiciary, organized by the Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. The training focused on raising judicial awareness of the country's legislations on commodities, competition and consumer issues. Said Kamara has the details in this report.
This day-long seminar for magistrates was meant to improve their understanding of the mandates of the Commission. The Executive Director of Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, Amadou Sise, highlights the importance of the training.
The GCCPC, forced as the enforcement agency for the Competition Act 2007, we prevent agreements or mergers which substantially lessens competition, prevent cartels, and prevent the misuse of market power for purposes that are damaging to competition. The competition law is essentially about protecting the competition process. Secondly, the GCCPC is the national consumer advocate, which means making sure that consumers are not misled. We have a role to prevent unconscionable conduct between businesses and consumers as enshrined in the Consumer Protection Act 2014. It is pertinent to state that we enforce the Consumer Protection Act through the Consumer Protection Tribunal located at the Bunung Magistrate Court under the chair of Your Worship Mbai.
Justice Alba said protecting consumers remain a critical component of their work. Justice Barr noted that protecting goods and services and taking care of complaints brought to their attention of the Commission forms part of her Commission's activities.
Just being a magistrate is not good enough. We go to law school. We are not taught these issues. We are not taught to specialize in these issues. So if you happen, I call it a privilege, to sit on such a tribunal, you endeavor to try and develop yourself. The Commission is here and I'm sure they are willing to help. It is in their interest to ensure that whoever is sitting on that tribunal has the requisite knowledge, has the requisite qualifications and appreciation of the subject matter that that person is dealing with, because it is a very technical area. Consumer protection and competition law, they are very technical areas. So I will employ on the magistrate and the panel members to make good use of today's opportunity, which is to enlighten us and sensitize us on the work of the Commission and these acts that they administer, especially the Consumer Protection Act, which is relevant to our work here as judicial officers.
This is the latest in a series of programs being rolled out by the Commission in promoting the welfare of consumers. Said Kamara, GRTS News.
Well, time now to take our first break. We'll be right back.
EcoBank now introduces a convenient and trusted way to pay for products and services using the EcoBank MasterPass QR on your EcoBank mobile app. Just tap on the menu, select Pay Merchant to scan the QR code. Enter the amount to pay followed by your PIN. The merchant receives a confirmation of your payment and you're done. Experience the ease of making payments anywhere at any time with the EcoBank MasterPass QR on your EcoBank mobile app. Download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today. For more information, visit your nearest EcoBank branch.